Welcome. This is a product overview of ComplianceForge's Continuity of Operations Plan, which we call the COOP. Over the next few minutes, we will walk through what it is, what problems it solves, exactly what is included, and why business continuity and disaster recovery matter. The COOP is cybersecurity focused to implement a program-level continuity of operations function. It takes a holistic approach to governing disaster recovery and business continuity operations. It is focused on helping organizations build resilient practices that are capable of withstanding disasters, and it delivers immense time and cost savings, enabling your subject matter experts to fill in the details that only they know. When the next outage, ransomware event, or natural disaster hits, can your organization show exactly how it prepares for, responds to, recovers from, and resumes operations? And can you prove it to an auditor? Most organizations have a continuity policy that says what is required, but not the documented playbook that proves how recovery actually happens. Building that from a blank page is slow, and you tend to find the gaps at the worst possible moment. The COOP gives you a running start, one editable integrated playbook covering pre-disaster preparedness, disaster recovery, business continuity, and post-disaster reconstitution. With incident response, DR and BC, plans in a single document, instead of 3 disconnected ones. It gets you roughly 80 to 90% of the way there, and then your team tailors the recovery targets and procedures to your environment. Can you honestly answer how pre-disaster preparedness, disaster recovery operations, business continuity operations, and post-disaster activities are documented at your organization? When you peel back the onion and prepare for an audit, there is a need to address the how for certain topics, such as continuity of operations. While policies and standards describe why something is required and what needs to be done, many companies fail to create documentation that addresses how they are actually implemented. The COOP is a documentation solution that gives your organization a holistic approach to both disaster recovery and business continuity. It addresses all 4 areas in a single integrated playbook, so your organization has one cohesive document covering incident response, disaster recovery, and business continuity, rather than 3 disconnected plans. So what exactly is the COOP? It is designed to provide a holistic approach to both disaster recovery and business continuity. The template addresses pre-disaster preparedness, disaster recovery operations, business continuity operations, and post-disaster activities. It addresses the how questions in an audit, since BCDR. Guidance provides the means for how your policies and standards are actually implemented, and it provides the underlying guidance that must be documented, as stipulated by many statutory, regulatory, and contractual requirements. Where most cybersecurity documentation describes what BCDR policy should require, the COOP describes how it is actually operationalized. The phased approach to disaster preparedness, response recovery, and reconstitution. The integration of incident response plans, disaster recovery plans, and business continuity plans. And the capability recovery levels used to scope recovery expectations. The COOP takes a holistic approach that utilizes a phased approach to preparing for and responding to incidents. That phased approach incorporates incident response and BCDR components to create a centralized and strategic approach to emergency management that can scale to deal with the size and scope of disasters and recovery efforts. These phases overlap, from incident response at a tactical level, with incident response plans and disaster recovery plans, to intermediate and long-term recovery efforts at a strategic level, with business continuity plans. The COOP is written to be concise and practical. It makes the distinction between disaster recovery, which is data-centric and tactical, and business continuity, which is business-centric and operational. And it shows how the two integrate with incident response, so your organization can scale its response to match the size and scope of a disruption. The entire concept of the COOP is focused on 2 things: providing written BCDR documentation to walk your team members through the steps they need to plan for, respond to, and recover from disasters, and helping your company be audit-ready with the appropriate level of due diligence evidence that allows you to demonstrate your organization meets its obligations. The COOP can help you become audit-ready in a fraction of the time and cost to do it yourself, or hire a consultant to come on site and write it for you. The COOP is a one-time purchase of an editable Microsoft Word documentation template. There is no software to install, no agent to deploy, no account to provision, and no cloud environment to configure. If your organization can open and edit Microsoft Word files, the COOP is ready to use. It is delivered as a fully editable Word file compatible with Word 2016 and newer, Microsoft 365, OpenOffice, LibreOffice, and Google Docs. The COOP includes built-in styles, tables, and BCDR sections that are ready for customization. Documentation is delivered via email download link within 1 to 2 business days of purchase, often the same business day. There is no installer, no license server, and no activation step. And it is a one-time purchase. A single entity license is included, with no recurring subscription requirement, although an optional update subscription is available. This deployment model is intentional. BCDR documentation belongs in your organization's own hands, inside your own document management and emergency response toolchains, rather than locked inside a vendor's SaaS tool. Once delivered, this product belongs to you. The first problem the COOP solves is a lack of in-house security experience. Writing disaster recovery and business continuity documentation is a skill that most cybersecurity professionals simply are not proficient at and avoid at all cost. The COOP is an efficient method to obtain comprehensive BCDR documentation for your organization. The second is compliance requirements. Nearly every organization, regardless of industry, is required to have formally documented disaster recovery and business continuity processes. The COOP is designed with compliance in mind. The third is audit failures. Security documentation does not age gracefully like a fine wine. Outdated documentation leads to gaps that expose organizations to audit failures and system compromises. The COOP provides a cost-effective and efficient manner to obtain that documentation. And the fourth is vendor requirements. It is very common for clients and partners to request evidence of disaster recovery and business continuity capabilities. The COOP can provide the evidence that you need. The first is clear documentation. The COOP provides a comprehensive template for your BCDR operations to help prove that your recovery capabilities exist. That equates to a time saving of hundreds of hours and tens of thousands of dollars in staff and consultant expenses. The second is time savings. It is a templated solution that requires minimal resources to fine-tune for your organization's specific needs. And the third is alignment with leading practices. The COOP is written based on leading frameworks for BCDR guidance. So what do you actually receive? The COOP is delivered as an editable Microsoft Word document. Purchase includes a single entity license and the first year of product updates. The COOP document covers pre-disaster preparedness, disaster recovery operations, business continuity operations, and post-disaster activities. Each phase includes scope, applicability, roles and responsibilities, and the deliverables expected so your organization has one cohesive playbook. And in addition to the main document, it also comes with PDF references and a continuity of operations worksheet to assist in its implementation. Most organizations operate with 3 disconnected plans: an incident response plan, a disaster recovery runbook, and a stale business continuity plan that contradicts both. The COOP is different. It integrates all 3 into a single phased framework, so the response team has one cohesive playbook that scales with the disruption, rather than 3 plans to reconcile under pressure. Now compare that against the 2 alternatives. The process of writing cybersecurity documentation can take an internal team many months, and it involves pulling your most senior and experienced cybersecurity experts away from operational duties. In addition to the immense cost of hiring a cybersecurity consultant at $300 an hour or more, the time to schedule a consultant, provide guidance, and get the deliverable product can take months. For your internal staff to generate comparable documentation, it would take them an estimated 200 internal staff work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $13,500 in staff-related expenses. That is about 2 to 4 months of development time, where your senior cybersecurity and business continuity staff would be diverted from operational duties. If you hire a consultant to generate this documentation, it would take them an estimated 120 consultant work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $34,500. That is about 1 to 2 months of development time for a contractor to provide you with the deliverable. The COOP is approximately 24% of the cost for your internal staff and approximately 11% of the cost for an external consultant to generate equivalent documentation. The plan itself is $4,235. The COOP is built to be evaluated before purchase. A PDF example of the policies and standards is available on the product page. The COOP comes with a wealth of guidance, including scenario-based guidance, an after-action review template, lines of business reconstitution steps, and more. So how much work is left for you? Here is the customization process at a glance. ComplianceForge aims for approximately an 80% solution because it is impossible to write a 100% cookie-cutter document that can be equally applied across every organization. BCDR depends on your specific industry, geographic footprint, technology stack, regulatory environment, and existing operational practices, so the remaining work is fine-tuning the COOP with the specific information that only your organization knows. In practice, customization is filling in the blanks, adding your company name and logo, naming actual BCDR role owners, selecting target capability recovery levels per capability, documenting alternate sites and recovery infrastructure, and calibrating tabletop and BCDR exercise scenarios, then integrating the COOP with your existing incident response and operations workflows. If you want a hand, ComplianceForge offers optional professional services. They are not required to customize ComplianceForge documentation. The 5-hour bundle may be beneficial for companies that need some guidance on getting started with how to tailor their documentation. The 10-hour bundle is for companies that need additional guidance on tailoring their documentation to meet their compliance requirements. And the 20-hour bundle is for companies that need robust services beyond just 10 hours to assist in tailoring their documentation. Purchased professional service hours expire 120 days, or 4 months, from the time of purchase if unused. Hours are intended to supplement, not replace, your own customization work. There are more reasons to buy. Documented BCDR capabilities have become a baseline expectation. PCI DSS, NIST 800-171, CMMC, HIPAA, FedRAMP, SOC 2, SOX, and the SEC Cybersecurity Disclosure Rule all require evidence of formal disaster recovery and business continuity capabilities. Cyber insurance underwriters increasingly require evidence of a documented program as a precondition for coverage. Without documented capabilities, organizations face audit findings, lost contracts, denied insurance claims, regulatory penalties, and the operational reality that the first major disruption becomes the moment the recovery procedures are written, not the moment they are executed. The COOP provides the playbook responders need before the next disruption occurs. ComplianceForge developed the COOP based on leading practices from NIST that includes NIST 834, the Contingency Planning Guide, NIST 837, the Risk Management Framework Guide, NIST 839, Managing Cybersecurity Risk, NIST 850, Building a Security Awareness and Training Program, NIST 853, Security and Privacy Controls, NIST 884, the Guide to Test, Training, and Exercise Programs, NIST 800-171, NIST 800-181, the NICE Workforce Framework, the NIST Glossary of Key Cybersecurity Terms, the Criticality Analysis Process Model, and the NIST Cybersecurity Framework. From the International Organization for Standardization, that includes ISO 15288, ISO 22301, the Business Continuity Management System Standard, and ISO 27002. From FEMA, that includes the Incident Command System, the Natural Disaster Recovery Framework, and the National Response Framework. Plus the Cloud Security Alliance Cloud Controls Matrix and the CIS Critical Security Controls. And COBIT, the Control Objectives for Information and Related Technologies. If you have any questions, please email support@complianceforge.com or call 1-307-241-8740. We've been helping organizations since 2005, and we are always happy to help.